Hello and welcome to the first episode of Into the Mines podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Oliver. Today, we're joined by our co-host here, Riley Murray. How you going,
Eddie.
Riley? Hey, mate, how you going? And
Not bad,
also,
not
we've got a
bad.
special guest on here today, the SRL Mines Commissioner, Will Kaye. He's on the show here tonight, first show, and we've got an amazing guest on here today. How you going, Will?
I'm going great, thanks, man. I'm just ecstatic to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we do have a very good show planned here tonight for you guys. We're going to be talking about some points, and we've got some segments up here tonight that are just going to give you a bit of an insight on who the top players are of the SRL Mines and what players are coming into the Mines fresh and looking to get that early start into the SRL Premiership, who are looking very handy and who are playing very well early into their careers. To start us off here tonight, we've got the round 4 into the Mines Podcast Premiership Pyramid. And it's ranking from the best players all the way down to the bottom of their performance of in round 4. Do you want to start us off here, Riley?
Alright, yeah, sure. Should I start from the bottom? Work my way up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Alright. To start us off, we've got Sticks McGee. He was pretty good for the Ravens. They couldn't get the outcome they were looking for, but he was a big part in their pack for sure tonight. Or on Monday, sorry.
You know,
you want to do next?
Yeah, no, they did a very good job. And if I can read it here, we've got Marcus Square down there at the bottom. We've got Michael McLucky. We've got Cyrus Marks. We've got Jack Jimmy and Ryan Wilmot. All players down on the bottom there who had solid performances during their game this week on Monday night. And most of those players down there did come out with the dub for their team. Moving up here, we've got Filippo Gould, Lachlan, oh, what the fuck?
McKinnon.
Okay, moving up here, we've got Filippo Gould, Lachlan McKinnon, Dave O'Noflingowie, and Igor McCuzzy. Do you want to talk about this row of players here, Riley?
Yeah, these are all slightly higher tier players. Obviously, everyone on the pyramid has played well, but these ones are just above the others. They are the ones that had outstanding performances.
Yeah, very well done there. From the moving up here, okay, I'll get you to comment on this one. We've got Dom Stromandinoli and Miles Anderson. Do you want to talk about both of these players in a little bit of depth here for us?
Both very diverse players in the last round. It was Miles Davis on his debut for the Ravens. He scored their only try, and he just had a stellar game in that first performance in the wing. And then, likewise, another stellar performance from Dominic Stromandinoli. He's really worked on his kicking game in the last couple of weeks, and he's brought that through. And it's really evident. He got over 142 kick meters. And a try assist to his name. It was just a great and a try for himself as well. It was a great game from Stromandinoli.
Yeah, I think that his running game definitely has improved over the weeks.
Definitely bringing out his inner Cosby there. And moving on here to Miles Anderson on his debut on the wing here. He's done a brilliant job with that length of the field try that he did there. It was beautiful stuff there from the rookie coming in, debuting in the Mines. He did his team proud. And at the top of the pyramid here today, well, I'll let you talk about him, Riley. You're the captain after all.
Fair enough. Lachlan Holmes just absolutely tore up on Monday. How good was he? Absolute stellar performance from him. Definitely the best player of the week. And he just looked unstoppable whenever he got the ball, really.
Yeah, it was very good
Definitely
stuff. Yeah, very good stuff there from him. Lachlan Holmes. He got 2 tries, both runaways. And just the speed of the man and also the confidence coming into the Mines. It's only his second game. And he shot straight out of a cannon like he's already had a season in the Mines under his belt. Beautiful stuff there from him. Moving on in today, we're going to have the Into the Mines podcast Team of the Week. Again, based off of these players' performances in this round, and you want to get us started off here.
All right.
Riley.
Would you like me to just say the one person, or should I
Well,
just go
how about
through all
you
of them?
start us off with the back line?
The back line? All right. So we've got Marcus Square at fullback. I think that he was probably the best option in terms of fullbacks. And we've got Lachlan Holmes, as we just touched on. McKinnon. We got Jack Jimmy and Miles Anderson.
Yeah, very good stuff there for them. Marcus Square, he's still getting used to that fullback position, we have to agree. He was a bit fatigued coming in to that sort of second half there of the game, but he did his team solid, and his communication to his team as well. He really had your defensive line pretty sorted there. What were you hearing from him during the game, Riley?
Yeah, look, he's obviously not happy about all the missed tackles, but you know, he's done a great job taking care of all of them. Only one of them got past him, but after that he was more ready and he took care of the breakaways very well.
Yeah, excellent stuff there. Moving on to the halves, we've got Tyler Doonan and Dom Schmand. Talking about Doonan, Kay, what's your opinion on him? He's had a very interesting start to this season with his kicking game.
Doonan is absolutely a hot pick for any captains looking at getting a rookie half into their team. He's been fantastic for the Ravens. His kicking's just been so versatile. He can run the ball as well. He can score tries. He can set up tries through passing. He's just got it all in that number 6 jersey there.
Yeah, indeed he does. And moving on here, we're moving on into the forwards. Number 8 and number 10, Sticks McGee and Ryan Wilmot, both forwards who, these past 2 rounds, to be honest, have been producing absolutely stellar performances for that team. And moving into that number 9, Rex Buckingman, a perfect, beautiful player, an all-rounded number 9 there. He's an amazing player, and he just knows where the ball needs to be at the times. And he just uses his beautiful instincts just to run out a dummy half there. Moving on to himself, the captain of the Blue Tongues, Riley Murray, who, in all the doubt, he's been solid. He's always performed solidly ever since he started the season, constantly getting over 100 running meters for his team, and just shows his work through actions. I know you and Riley talk a bit, Cage, and talk a bit about Riley's work ethic and how he handles himself and how he handles his team.
Absolutely. Riley's just a great captain. He's always active, always getting the boys to keep on being active and making sure that they do their jobs. His running game's great. He always makes those extra meters, finding the gaps in the line and getting those post-contact meters. There's a lot of second rowers that are very good in the comp at the moment, especially in the mines, and Riley Murray's definitely at the top of them.
And moving on here, we've got Sonny Sharp and Michael McLucky, both players who really take on their position. And Sonny Sharp being the brother of Dylan Sharp, who is now at the Manly Seagulls, he really hasn't shied away ever since his brother left. And in a way, he sort of stood up and just trying to show that, you know, the Sharp name isn't just with his brother, but it's also with him. And also Michael McLucky, who's a half playing at lock, and he just does amazing things for his team. What an all-rounded player he is. Moving on here into the next segment of Into the Nines, we're going to be talking about the 3 best players who have been unassigned to teams yet in the SRL Mines. And we've got 3 hot picks here who have all been active with their upgrades and just waiting for that spot, just waiting for somebody to be inactive or somebody to move up to the SRL just so they can get their shot here in the Mines. You want to start us off here, Riley?
Yeah, well, I'll start off with the number 3 there because look, his name's Murray and he's a second rower. I feel like I don't think that Blue Tongues will take him just because the fact that he might try and take over my identity. But otherwise we got Christian. I cannot pronounce that. Nope. All right, and Jarvis King.
Yeah, all players there, especially Callum Murray, is the only player sort of in that forward position who has been active. All of the other forwards have been falling away and all of that stuff and could easily slide into any team at lock. And I'm sure he'll do an amazing job for them. Jarvis King and Christian, from memory, they are both halves and they've been consistent. They've got good stats. Both of them are also 61 overalls. So I believe that they're into their second season here, Kay. Am I right about that?
No, you're not. They've come into their first season here, and you'll see there's a couple 61 overalls and getting into the 62s now in the next couple of weeks, I believe,
Wow.
for the new players coming in.
Yeah, my apologies there. That just shows the dedication that these players have, not shying away, not being the first pick there from the commissioner onto the teams, but they're just showing that, they're ready for it, and whenever they get given the chance, I'm sure, Kay, you're just going to chuck them right in. I'm sure they'll perform for their team.
Absolutely. They've been active, and they've been good, solid. They'll definitely be on the top of the list for the halves if the spot does open up.
Yeah, moving on here, we're gonna get a bit excited on this next segment here today. We're gonna talk about the shit haircut of the week, and also being honest here, the shit haircut is gonna come from somebody who has had a good game, and it's that man, Yagor Makazi, who had an amazing game for his team for the Hogs from memory. He had a beautiful stuff. He got a try for them. He had an amazing game here, and I just want to talk a bit about him, Riley, as you did verse him yourself.
That's true. He had one bad part of his game where he got absolutely folded, not too far into the game, just in the beginning. But after that, I think it flipped a switch in him and he just started popping off. And you see him whenever he walks past, you see that shit haircut flying in the wind. And
The-
he's just breaking tackles. I think he almost made 200 meters. Okay.
yeah, the green hair, it's not hard to miss. But also, I reckon, talking to UK, he's got very good work ethic. He comes out every game, and it doesn't look like that he's off the ball. He's always trying, he's always running, he's not shy of contact. And he's just always wanting to, put in those 1%ers that can get teams the win in the end.
Yeah, he's got that funny haircut like Snicko Bro, and he's about the same size. He plays similarly. He's just tough and up the guts. Doesn't care about how small he is. Doesn't care about how big his opposition is, and he just keeps on going. He has that leg drive that's really good to see in second rowers.
Yeah, no, definitely it is. It's very good to see from them. And moving on here today, we're going to be talking about the team of the week, in me and Riley's opinion, and Into the Mines podcast, team of the week. We've got the Blue Tongues here, and the captain. Do you want to talk about, why we've sort of put your team here, and I'll add in on after you. But Jim, just start us off here, Riley.
Yeah, I think it was one of the easier decisions to make just because the Ravens and Firehawks game was so low scoring. Kind of made this easier to decide. But I feel like Blue Tongues overall had a pretty good performance, especially because of Holmes, and I think that's the only thing that we could really work on there is just holding onto the ball better after line breaks, because that was definitely a flaw and where most of our errors came from. But overall, Eddie, you said it best, team of the week.
Yeah, definitely there. That's the Bathurst Blue Tongues there with the team of the week. And talking about them a bit more, their performance, they just looks like the more solid team, the team working together, and actually the halves, who I reckon that's probably the first game here, Kay, that we've actually seen the halves in the Mines have such an impact with Domstrom and Denoli fixing his game, and that's probably turned this season around for him, getting that try. And, that wasn't the only line break that he got. Yes, he did get a try off of it, but he was actually really confident with his running game, and that's something we haven't seen from the rookie half yet.
Now, Dom's been upgrading his speed, and he's just been hitting those gaps a lot in training. He's just not afraid of the contact. I think he's getting a bit more used to it. I don't know whether he came from touch as his background, but everything's just going right for Dom at the moment, especially his kicking game. It was pretty pathetic, I guess is the best way to put it. As a half myself, I know that we have those weeks, and I'll be the first one to put up my hand, and I often have those weeks. But he has had a couple of those weeks in a row, and then he's had this game, and he's just come out and absolutely slayed the competition with that kicking game.
Yes, indeed it is. It must be the Italian in him, getting those spaghetti, getting straight through the line there. That bowl of spaghetti before the game does him a world of good. The Italian blood there, representing Italy there, Domstrom and Denoli. Beautiful stuff from him, and he deserves to be spoken about on this podcast this week because he's done an amazing job. And also, it is the first episode again. Thank you guys for showing up so far. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying. Don't forget to leave a comment down below you guys on the video, just to give us some feedback on how it is going for you guys so far, and what also you guys want to see moving on into the next week after this. Now, we're going to be moving on and talking about players who have been recently signed into the SRL, and this can be within the next couple of weeks, in the past couple of weeks, excluding myself. And talking about Alex Christie, we'll get started off with him, Riley.
Look, I don't know too much about the guy, but oh wait, actually I do. Sorry, I was thinking of someone else. He is a good player. I was watching him for a little bit, and when I saw what was it, the Knights captain go into the Mines chat asking who's the most active, he is the most active out of all the forwards. He just said me straight away and got picked up. It was something to watch there.
Yeah, indeed. And it's all seemed the Firehawks this season, where all of the new SRL talent is coming from. With Alex Christie being one of those, and Dylan Sharp, just the new fresh looks for some SRL teams, just giving them that extra bit of spark. And I'm not surprised by it, as both of those players should have an amazing start to their SRL Mines career. And it is 13-a-side this year for the Mines, and we're going to talk about that a little bit here, okay? What was a bit of the reasoning behind that? I know there has been a lot more players here this year, but talking about what sort of effect has that had on the players and more opportunities that it's given the new players coming into the SRL this season?
Well, really allows players to realise what positions both that we need and that they can play, and allows players to play in the position. Usually, we'd have a couple second rowers playing in that. I believe it's a 6 and 8 jersey in the nines, maybe a half, maybe a forward in the 9 jersey, and it didn't really get spread around that much. There wasn't that much positional diversity, and that caused there to be a lot of halves and a lot of fullbacks. But with that 13 aside now, it gives players an opportunity to play in a lot of different positions, and obviously with, I think it was something ridiculous, like 150 players at one point that had to be made. Um, Having that 13 aside really, really helps with them, just so that they can develop, and I don't have to record 8 games a weekend, I only have to record 2.
Yeah, that really does help there. And also appreciate it. Thank you for letting me into the commentary box and just taking me under your wing, teaching me the ways of how the SRL Mines Commissioner works. We really do appreciate it here. Moving on here, we're going to talk about players next week that you two recommend the audience to look out for, to keep an eye on, moving forward into the next couple of days here of the SRL Mines. We'll start off with you, Riley.
All right. Well, I'm going to be a bit biased as usual, and I'm going to say Marcus Square. I think it's only a matter of time until he scores his first try in the SRL Mines. He's just been on fire at fullback since he's swapped from the wing, and I can't wait to see him play again.
Yeah, excellent stuff there, Kay. I have a feeling I know who you're going to go talk about, but I'll let you say it, mate.
Absolutely. It's been my favourite player to watch so far in the season. It's Johnny Dokulic, the big fullback out of the Ravens. He's standing at a mammoth 220 centimetres, 61 rated overall, and he is just absolutely killing it in the competition. That particular try in the last round against the Blue Tongues is what really lured me in. With the big high kick, towered down, he's just no one at home, and he just absolutely ran his mark as he needed to. He's just an all-round good player for the Ravens. And actually, round 4 was the first round that he hadn't scored a try.
Yeah, indeed it was. Thank you there. And also talking about the Melbourne Ravens, it's been announced here a couple of days ago, or maybe even, a couple of days ago here, that the new team to the SRL next season is going to be the Melbourne Storm. Any speculations here, guys, of what players you reckon are going to want to go to it, and sort of a rough idea on how that Melbourne Storm system is going to work, like it as amazing it does in the NRL?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I hope that the... Oh, sorry,
No,
Riley.
no, you go, you go. I wasn't sure if you guys speak. You go.
I hope that the Storm system works the same. I'm a big Storm fan myself. I think there'll be quite a few Mines players that will find their way to the Storm. Johnny Dokulic will probably one of the top picks. I'd be surprised if Raikamani doesn't find his way there as well. And obviously there's a couple Storm fans lurking about that are keen to go there. So I'm sure they'll get quite a few good players, and that they'll have a pretty solid team next season.
With the way that they're performing in the reserve grade, imagine what a full stock with a bit of SRL Premiership experience and a couple of rookies in that side, it could light up the competition, the Melbourne Storm next season. But moving on from there to probably one of the last it is the last segment of this podcast here today. I want to be talking about just both the games, and I just want to hear both of you guys sort of touches on and how it's gone, and just your thoughts on how they went, how the matches went, and how each team can improve going into next week. I will start off with you, Riley, and you can talk about your own game with the Hogs and the Blue Tongues.
All right. Well, obviously, points to improve from this game that we can learn from is just we had about 8 errors, I think, which is not good. It's amazing that we could still come away with the win there, but obviously we just need to hold on to the ball better and stop holding down after held is called. It's just giving away free field position and just inviting in tries, really. But on the positives, I think that Blue Tongues definitely had a lot better defense than they have in previous weeks. I also think that Hogs had a very good offense as well. And I think that probably a weak part of the Hogs game at the moment is just the lack of speed. I think that they have one quick player, but besides that, it's a bit dry up there.
Yeah, it is a bit dry and a bit all over the place there for the Hogs. But even though having 53% of the possession during that game, and 20 out of 23 completions. You'd think for all money, the 3 errors, that, they were going to take the win there, the Hogs. But the Blue Tongues really determined to get their first win of the season in the SRL Mines. And they really proved why that they did deserve that win. Moving on here, we're going to talk about the Firehawks and the Ravens. A low-scoring game from both teams. Both teams, well, the Firehawks, they're completing 19 out of 20 with 1 error. And sort of similar for the Ravens, 17 out of 20. So both teams had equal ball. I think it just came down to who took their opportunities in that game, Kay.
Absolutely. I said just before half-time there was a penalty against, I think it was Dokolic holding him down. And that caused a penalty goal to be kicked. And that is ultimately what won the match. I think that's just the discipline for the Ravens. And I don't mean giving away penalties. I mean, at times they'll throw in the ball when they shouldn't be. At times they're pushing it through the middle when they should be spreading it. They just need to get that game sense into them. They need to think about what they're doing. There's a couple times where they just needed to spread it out to the wings. Phil Burden would have been able to score a couple tries probably for the Ravens. They just didn't quite have that heads-up footy that they needed, and they kind of paid the price for it.
Definitely there. Just before we finish off here, we're going to finish off with our Into the Mines podcast player, GOAT of the week. My apologies. And we have Lachlan Holmes here. Beautiful stuff from him. He had an amazing game for the Bathurst Blue Tongues. He got 2 tries for his team. Length of the field efforts. The speed on the man absolutely woused me and Kay up in the commentary box. It absolutely did indeed. He had an all-rounded game, and he never looked like shying away from the contact as well. He really deserves it. Well done to you, mate. Lachlan Holmes, the GOAT of the week Into the Mines podcast. Beautiful stuff from him. Well, before we finish, I just want to thank you, Kay, for creating this template that everybody's seeing in the background there of me and Riley. He put a lot of effort into it, and we really do appreciate the work that you have put into this first episode of the podcast for us, Kay.
Cheers, mate. It's been a pleasure having it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you. Again, I'm your host here, Eddie Oliver, joined by your co-host, Riley Murray, and the guest here this week, Will Kaye, the SRL Mines Commissioner. Thank you very much here for joining me. Again, guys, leave a comment down there below this video, letting us know what you guys want to see next and how you think we can improve. Segment ideas, anything you guys want to see, me and Riley will really appreciate it. Again, thank you guys so much. Enjoy your footy. Enjoy the SRL Mines Comp Monday next week. Get hyped for it. It's going to be an amazing game, and I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Thank you guys for listening.